Unit 3-4, Stress Management. What is stress? Stress is a natural response that your body makes to a demand or challenge. Stress disturbs a person's mental or physical well-being. Stressors are things that cause stress. Ongoing and chronic stress can be damaging to our health. It affects almost every bodily system. Stress can cause a large range of physical issues. Illnesses inhibits digestion, reproduction, growth, tissue repair, inhibits the response of our immune system that helps us fight illness. Please take a look at the list of stress warning signs and symptoms presented on this chart. Cognitive symptoms include memory problems, inability to concentrate, poor judgment, seeing only the negative, anxious or racing thoughts, constant worrying. Emotional symptoms include moodiness, irritability or short temper, agitation, inability to relax, feeling overwhelmed, a sense of loneliness and isolation, depression, or general unhappiness. Then we have physical symptoms that include aches and pains, diarrhea or constipation, nausea, dizziness, chest pain, rapid heartbeat, loss of sex drive, and frequent colds. And finally, we have behavioral symptoms that include eating more or less, sleeping too much or too little, isolating yourself from others, procrastinating or neglecting responsibilities, using alcohol, cigarettes, or drugs to relax, and nervous habits such as nail biting and pacing. A little stress can help us increase our motivation, energy, and perception. For example, some people perform well under pressure. However, stress can negatively impact one's memory, creativity, concentration, and attention to detail. Therefore, it's highly important that college students become adept at integrating stress management techniques in order to achieve the best academic work and enjoy the process of learning and achievement. Those who carry a victim mindset often seek a quick escape from their stressful situation. They may make unwise choices, such as excessively drinking alcohol and or caffeine, numbing themselves for hours in front of a television or computer, working obsessively, fighting, taking anesthetizing drugs, going on shopping binges, eating too much or too little, excessively smoking, gambling more than they can afford to lose. Victims also typically blame, complain, and make excuses when confronted with the damage of their behaviors. Stress made me do it. Victims want instant gratification and don't really give much thought to the impact of their choices on their future. Those who carry a creator mindset realize that it is important to manage their stress by making wise choices that would release them from the hold of stress. Creators are able to identify their feelings early and take positive actions to avoid being taken a hold of by emotional upset. Creators who are highly stressed can identify when they need to get some caring, professional help for dealing with stress. Creators find better ways to reduce stress. Four physical symptoms of stress include feeling overwhelmed. And this is when you feel a tightness in your chest, jaw, shoulders, and or lower back. Feeling anxious. When you feel anxious, you may feel butterflies in your stomach. Your pulse may increase and your breathing might be shallow. You can also feel angry. And when you're angry, you might have flushed skin, tensed muscle, and an increased heart rate. You might also feel sad when you're stressed. When you're sad, you might have low energy, constant fatigue, and a lack of positive will to perform tasks. I will now describe each of these symptoms and strategies to help you avoid being hijacked by each one. If you feel overwhelmed, choose new behaviors, such as separate yourself from an external stressor. List and prioritize all you have to do. Discover time savers. Say no. Keep your finances organized. Exercise. Then choose new thoughts, such as elevate or rise above the overwhelm and see each problem in the bigger picture of your life. Notice how little importance the problem really has. And ask yourself, will this really matter 1 year from now? Trust a positive outcome. Sometimes upsets turn out to be blessings in disguise. Look for the blessing. Take a mental vacation. Picture a place you love, like a beautiful beach or a quiet retreat in the mountains, and spend some time, a few minutes, visiting that place in your mind. If you feel angry, choose new behaviors like separating yourself from the situation. Be alone and allow time to help you regain your ability to make rational, positive choices. Exercise. Moving around helps reduce anger-fueling hormones in your body. Relax by listening to calm music, meditate, or find a peaceful and enjoyable activity. Channel your anger into positive actions. Finally, ask for help if you're unable to manage your anger. You can also choose new thoughts, such as reframing the situation and looking at the problem from a different angle. Elevate and rise above the moment and ask yourself, will this really matter 5 years from now? Distract yourself with something pleasant. Shift your attention from your anger to the deeper hurt that has been caused. Identify the hurt. Forgive. The reason why we want to forgive is to improve your life, not theirs. When we forgive, we are freeing ourselves. Finally, empathize and try to understand why the person you are angry with did what he or she did. If you feel anxious, relax. When you relax, you're slowing down and helping yourself reclaim mastery over your thoughts and emotions. Breathe deeply. Keep oxygen flowing through your body because feelings of anxiety and fear can constrict you. Do yoga. You can find yoga videos for all levels on YouTube. Yoga helps you breathe, stretch, and meditate. Prepare thoroughly. If your anxiety is related to some kind of upcoming performance, prepare as much as you can to build your confidence. If you're having an upcoming test, bring something meaningful from home to give you motivation and confidence. You can also try to request for accommodations, such as extended time to take exams. In addition to choosing new behaviors, you'll want to choose new thoughts. If you've done everything you can do to help the situation, try to detach from it and trust the outcome will take care of itself. Reframe the situation. Visualize success. Assume the best will happen rather than the worst. Distract yourself from the anxiety. Face the fear despite your anxiety. Most often, you'll learn that your fear was false. Accept your mistakes. Remember, making mistakes is okay. We can learn from them and grow. Finally, say your affirmations. Replace your anxious thoughts with positive affirmations. When you are feeling sad, choose new behaviors such as doing something towards your goals. Even small accomplishments can help fight sadness. Exercise, as the movement helps create natural chemical highs that help combat sadness. Listen to uplifting music. Spend time with an animal. Believe it or not, animals have a way of lifting spirits. You can socialize with friends and loved ones, as it will re-engage you with people who matter to you, and you might even gain a healthier perspective. Help others in need, as it can distract you from the source of your sadness. It's important to eat and drink wisely. You don't want to escape your sadness by overeating or with excessive consumption of alcohol. In addition to choosing new behaviors, we should choose new thoughts. Challenge pessimistic beliefs, because sadness thrives on pessimism. Instead, it is important to remind yourself that time will help you heal and that loss is only limited to a part of your life. Distract yourself by involving yourself with activities and conversations that will lift you up. If you're suffering from a loss, remember what your loved ones would want for you. They would want you to be happy and enjoy your life. Focus on the positive. Identify your blessings and successes. Find the opportunity in the problem. Look for the lesson and turn your loss into a gain. Remember and remind yourself that this is only a period of life and it will pass. You can say to yourself, this too shall pass. Finally, you can create a gratitude list and remind yourself of the positive and good things in your life. What makes you happy? What are you doing when you feel most happy to be alive? When you become so absorbed that time seems to disappear? Would you like to be happier? Do you know how? Why do we want to increase our happiness, first of all? Because happy feels better than unhappy. Happy people. Did you know that we have limits on our happiness? Research found that we have limited control over our level of happiness due to hereditary reasons. Just like we inherit physical traits from our parents, like height, we inherit a set happiness point from our parents. About 50% of our happiness is determined by a genetically fixed set point. Happiness could be raised and lowered by circumstances. Circumstances can include having money, health, climate, physical appearance, ethnicity, gender, age, intelligence, and education. But circumstances only contribute about 10% to our level of happiness. We do get bursts of happiness when something good happens. Afterwards, hedonic adaptation takes over and tugs us back down to our happiness set point. Hedonic adaptation happens when we get used to something good and the thrill you got from the new good thing disappears. The new good thing becomes the old good thing. So 50% of our happiness is inherited from our parents, 10% is contributed by circumstances. Then what happened to the other 40%? Well, we can still make our own choices to increase our happiness. What are choices we can make to increase happiness? We can savor the things we consider pleasures. Our inner guide tells us during an experience, pay close attention to this. Stay with it. Stay with it. Come on, stay with it a little longer. We can choose to let the pleasurable experience linger and even savor experiences from the past. We can also be intentional about creating a variety of pleasurable experiences and spread them over time. We can also express gratitude for the blessings we have in our lives. Ask yourself, what are you grateful for? Some ways of doing this include creating a gratitude list, recalling a painful experience from your past and contrasting it with what you're experiencing now, writing a letter of thanks to someone who has been important in your life. Finally, we can choose to be engaged in an activity that causes us to lose awareness of anything beyond what we are doing. When we are completely engaged, we are in a flow state. Flow happens when we are totally absorbed in something that we don't think about concerns we have about ourselves, and time passes by very quickly. We are totally present in the moment.